Welcome back to the PAM Insider. This is our final episode of the PAM SLAs, the Promises That Matter mini-series. We've talked about what SLAs and PAM really cover, how SaaS and on-prem deployments change the equation, and how top vendors compare. In this final episode, we're going to look at what really happens when those promises are tested in the real world. SLAs look strong when they're written into a contract, but the real test is what happens when those promises are stressed. Every vendor can boast about uptime, response windows, and patch cadence until an outage, a zero-day vulnerability, or a critical incident forces them to deliver. That's when customers discover whether an SLA is a true safety net or just a piece of paper. The reality is that SLA penalties rarely cover the true cost of a downtime. A credit on the next month's bill doesn't restore the productivity lost when administrators can't access systems, or the trust eroded when a CISO has to explain to the board why a privileged access outage coincided with a security incident. The financial terms may be precise, but the business impact is immeasurable. And here's the tough question. Does your vendor give you a direct number to call when things are hitting the fan? You may have negotiated a great price with a low bidder, but will they be there after hours when your compute is exposed and you need privilege access restored immediately? That's when SLA percentages stop mattering and partnerships begin. This is where the human factor comes in. Strong SLAs matter, but the strength of your vendor relationship often matters more. When your account executive and sales engineer know your environment and your priorities, they can escalate issues before they spiral. When a vendor honors not just the letter of their SLA, but the spirit of the partnership, that's when PAM becomes a resilient layer of your security fabric. So don't just ask about percentages. Ask who will pick up the phone at 3 a.m. in the morning. Because resilience isn't determined by fine print. It's built on commitments you can trust and a partner who stands behind them. And that wraps up this special mini-series on PAM SLAs, the promises that matter. We've explored what SLAs and PAM really cover, how SaaS and on-prem deployments change the equation, how top vendors compare, and why people matter as much as percentages when the pressure is on. If you found this valuable, hit like, subscribe, and share with your peers. For more deep dives into PAM strategy and adoption, check out the other mini-series right here on the PAM Insider. And remember, in PAM, the difference between resilience and risk often comes down to the promises you demand and the partners who stand behind them.